Hi, my name is Jaden Prendergast, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the gym and the effect that it has on our bodies of the production of white blood cells and the endorphins that it produces. Today I'm with two interviewees, Michaela and Alyssa. Say hi.
Hi.
So, Michaela, I know that you are very good at having a set schedule, going to the gym, and I just want to talk to you about your past life before you started working out versus now, and how you feel, like your overall well-being and mental health.
Before I started working out and running, it felt like I had the weight of the world on my shoulders, and I had to take on a lot of responsibilities because of my life situations. So then I started running and working out, and it allowed me to clear my mind and stuff.
Yeah, now I want to ask you guys a question. Are either of you familiar with the term endorphin and what it is? Have you heard of it before?
I've heard of it, but I'm not entirely sure on the full definition.
Yeah, as well. Okay, so endorphins are our neurotransmitters produced by the pituitary gland and hypothalamus that act as the natural pain relievers and mood boosters by binding to opioid receptors. So I know that's kind of a lot to unpack there, but it's essentially our feel-good neurotransmitters, so the things in our mind that really, are our mood boosters. Some doctors call it a natural runner's high that makes you feel like you're on the drugs that are like opioids, but it's all natural and it's all produced by your brain. So more specifically focusing on a academic aspect of the gym, how have you noticed a difference in your academics of before and after working out during school?
Whenever I'm not on a set schedule for working out, I tend to procrastinate a lot more and I just fall behind. But whenever I get back on track, I'm able to have a structure.
And what about your aspects of, anxiety, depression, ADHD? You mentioned how you had a lot of stress and the weight of your shoulders before you started working out, but have you really noticed a significant just impact that the gym and your endorphins have had on your mental health and well-being?
Yes, I have noticed an impact. Before I worked out and ran, I had really bad anxiety and I would have panic attacks, but now I haven't had any.
Yeah. So moving on to sort of, this scientific aspect of it, there's an article from the Mayo Clinic and they did a research about your endorphins in the brain and did a study based on, taking these random groups of people who are clinically diagnosed with depression and giving them set routines based on the gym and not, and kind of comparing and contrasting, their overall well-being. And they came to the conclusion saying that physical activity increases a brain's chemical called beta endorphin, and this can increase feelings of happiness and reduce feelings of pain. It's often called a runner's high. A study from the PubMed Central from the National Library of Medicine states that the mechanisms by which exercise reduces depression levels are multifaceted and include both psychological and physiological factors. Exercise can increase the production of endorphins, which are neurotransmitters associated with a positive mood and feeling of well-being. Exercise improves sleep, reduces stress and anxiety, and enhances self-esteem and social support. The implications of exercise as a treatment for depression are significant because depression is a common and debilitating mental health condition. So both of these clinics really dove into exactly what it is that we're talking about and focused on how these endorphins are produced in your brain from working out and how it's a natural cure for depression. Now, moving on to you, Alyssa, I know that, you don't go to the gym, work out. And how does that make you feel, overall, your mental health during any time of your life?
Well, especially with moving away from home and coming to school, I've experienced a lot more anxiety and a little bit of depression, so I definitely have noticed a change in my mental health. And yeah, I don't go to the gym, so I've kind of just relied on outside other things to help with my mental health, especially during this time.
And have you noticed that they've really made an impact on that, or do you not really feel any different?
I don't feel a lot different, especially with just getting into those things. So I think that something new definitely would help.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about like your workload aspect, your ability to complete your schoolwork and like be essentially, locked in on your schoolwork?
Yeah, going from a different workload from high school to college, experiencing that, it's definitely more difficult and harder to complete. So I've noticed that.
Yeah, that's really good. There's another study from the Harvard Health Publishing from the also from the National Library of Medicine, and they quote that it has, working out has a unique capacity to exhilarate and relax, to provide stimulation and calm, and to counter depression and dispute stress. It's a common experience among endurance athletes and has been verified in clinical trials that have successfully used exercise to treat anxiety disorders and clinical depression. Moving on towards, a very personal aspect of the gym for me personally, during COVID, everything was shut down. And before then, I was very much a person who focused on other people and making other people my priority. And then when COVID happened, you're not allowed to have contact with these people. So not being able to have contact with them and get into the gym really helped me put myself first. And I've really noticed that I have become a priority to myself. I'm the only one who can change for me for the better. And putting myself as a priority has definitely changed my mental health a lot. And knowing that, working out in these feel good, neuron transmitters, these endorphins are changing our everyday lives on the basis just being able to support your mental health and make you feel good. And it's just crazy to think that such a little thing, going to the gym for 30 minutes or even going for a walk has really supported, these endorphins and your feel good energy and overall making a impact on depression and giving people the ability to treat their depression without having to take medication and while physically bettering themselves every single day. So I want to thank you guys for being here today, and I really enjoyed this conversation, and I hope that you guys learned a lot.